What's up, guys? K-Train Garage. Today we're going to replace the oil pan and filter on a GM 4T65E transmission. The process is very similar for a 4T50, for a 4T40, and the pans are close, but make sure you get the right one. I rebuilt the transmission maybe 25,000 miles ago, so it's a little early to change the filter, but I have a significant scrape from repeated scrapes here when the tire was low and just hit the right pothole. So because I'm continuing to do work on this car, I want to be able to drain the fluid, even though it's not going to be very often. I have some Dexron 6 we're going to put in, but also I'm not using the ACDelco magnets. I'm using these Neodymium Magnets I found on the internet. I'm going to put these two neodymium bars here, and they're pretty strong. This is a button. The point is to take any ferrous material that's circulating in the fluid and have it stick to the magnet instead of continuing to circulate in the transmission. We also have a new filter seal, because if you take the filter out, you're supposed to change the seal, so we have one. Additionally, I'm going to take a few more neodymium magnets. In addition to putting one on the drain plug, I'm going to put a couple on the filter near pickup, so anything else that can be going in the magnet instead of continuing to circulate will. We have a new reusable gasket. When I rebuilt it, I have a reusable gasket on there anyway, but I'm a little suspect because of the stress in this corner that this may not be viable anymore in this area. So I have another one if I want to put it on there. Because of the cost and the importance of having transmission fluid, I don't want to be leaking, so we have another one. If you have a pan and it has a felt gasket, it doesn't have metal in the center of the rubber, then it's not a reusable. Get yourself a reusable. They're not that expensive, and if you do have to drop the pan, then you can just put that gasket back up. To get this party started, I'm going to loosen these bolts on the back side, and if the fluid starts to come out, I'm going to put this big catch under it and let the fluid drain before I take any more bolts out. Oh, there we go. A lot of the fluid has come out. So I'm going to take some of these bolts out, let it fall down a little more, see how much more fluid we can get to come out. And then we'll tip the pan this way, let it drain into the big catch. All right, most of the fluid is gone, so I'm going to take this last bolt out, dump whatever I can, dump whatever I need to into the pan, from the pan into the catch pan, and then we can get it out of here. So we have the pan down. The filter here, it should just pull out on its own, and then we'll see what it takes to get the seal out. There's a lot of deposits on this filter, the one I just took out. So I'm thinking that this was a good idea. We have a new filter seal in there. So now we should be able to just push the new filter in. And feel it bottom out in the seal. We know we're in the right place because it really only fits exactly where it goes. Just as a comparison, this is the OEM pan and it's OEM magnet. And this is the new one we're going to put in. I think I will just use the new gasket. There's a couple areas on the old one I don't like, here and here. As far as those neodymium magnets, I'm going to put one button on the bolt, put the two flat bars right here at this drain dam, because the fluid comes here and gets picked back up. So I'm also putting those there because on the underside of the filter, I'm going to place these 3-button neodymiums. So when it's in there like this, these won't get pulled to those magnets because there isn't a ton of clearance between the plane of the filter and the pan. That first bolt I tightened, it broke off. Supposed to be like that. These are 8/8 M6 bolts. I'm worried some of the other ones are stressed out as well. So I got new 10/9 M6 bolts. Supposed to be M6 1.0 17 millimeter. This way they won't break off. Okay, I got a new pan, the new gasket. The magnet wants to pull it up, so I'm going to let it do that. Get my bolt holes lined up. Once I get a couple bolts in, I'm going to pull the pan down so we can adjust the gasket. These are the new 10-9 M6 bolts. Because after I broke that one off, I'm not going to try anymore. I'm just jumping around randomly to get some bolts in here to line up the gasket. Now it's mostly lined up. All right, now that I'll start it, I'm gonna get this pan pulled up, and then we'll torque them down 14 Newton meters. So I'm just gonna do star pattern so that we tighten down evenly. Okay. So now we're going to refill this with fluid. I'm just going to put a couple quarts in, and then we'll start the engine and then measure the transmission fluid while it's in there. We want to make sure we don't overfill.